Okay, so what we're doing today is pretty much like what we've been doing the past couple of days. There's just one extra little thing that we're doing, and that's counting decimals. Oh wait, you've already been doing that. So this lesson should be a piece of cake for you. Let's look at number 1. Write down number 1 on your paper. Okay, number 1 that's blurry. I don't know if it looks blurry on your page. Let me zoom out a little bit, make it better. Okay, it says 3/10 times 9/10. And these digits, there's the same number of digits in both factors, so it doesn't really matter which one you write first. You set it up just like normal, and you want to line things up as neatly as possible. Okay, now 9 times 3, we're multiplying just the same. 9 times 3 is 27. Carry your 2. And then 9 times 0 is 0. Plus 2 is 2. I've seen a lot of 6th graders make that mistake. They're putting like 11 here or 9. 9 times 0 is 0, you guys. And then add the 2 that you carried. Now, for the second row of products, remember we've got 2 digits here, so we have to have 2 rows of products. 0 times 3 is 0, but we're not writing it here. That 0 doesn't go here. This 0 times 3 goes right here. We still have a 0 here that we're using like a placeholder. And then 0 times 0 is 0. So there's my second layer of products. And what do I do with these? Add them together. And we get that. Now let's figure out where the decimal is going to go. Count the digits after the decimal or to the right of the decimal. So here's the decimal number. Okay, there's 1 and a decimal number. There's 1 there. So there's 1 here and 1 here. How many is that altogether? 1 plus 1? Well, that's 2. You have 2 decimal numbers, and that means you need to have 2 decimal numbers in your answer. So count back 1, 2, and your decimal will go there. How many decimal numbers do you have in your answer? 1, 2. The same number of decimal numbers in your problem. 1, 2. Okay. You're multiplying everything just the same. It's just figuring out where the decimal goes. Okay, let me get rid of this. Okay, number 2. 2 and 6/10 times 1 and 7/10. Okay. Multiply just like it's 26 times 17. 6 times 7 is 42. 42. And then 7 times 2 is 14. Plus 4 that you carried, that would be 18. And then let's take 1 times 6. Remember, you start with a 0 here. And 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 2 is 2. And then I'm going to add these products together. And that gives me 2 plus 0 is 2. 8 plus 6 is 14. Carry my 1. And then 2, 3, 4. That's 4. All right, now 442 is not my answer. I have to go up here and count how many decimal numbers are in my problem. There's 1 decimal number here, and there's 1 decimal number here. So that's 2 all together. So I need to make sure I have 2 in my answer. Where would my decimal be? It goes right there. 4 and 42/100. Now I want to remind you guys that those of you who are just guessing on the quizzes, you're not going to get to guess on the test. Some of you are not really practicing these problems so that when it comes time for the test, you really know what to do. And that's how you're getting these 20s and 30s. On the last test, I had a lot of students making 20s and 30s simply because you didn't truly practice on your quiz and see how well you know the stuff. That's why I give you the quiz, so you can check yourself and see, do I know this or not? If you don't know it, then please ask. You're not going to get any better at this, and then your test grades will be low, and we don't have time for that. Okay, one more example in the top group, and then you're going to be on your own. Let me get rid of that. Okay, let's go to a really hard one. Let's go to number 8. I think that number 8 will give you a lot of good practice. No, let's do number 7. On number 7, the first factor has 3 digits and the second factor has 4. And the one with the most digits is the one that I would put on top. So 2 and 8 thousandths times 2 and 7 hundredths. Notice that my decimals are not lined up, and that's okay. They have to be lined up when you are adding and subtracting and even dividing. You line up the decimals, but when you're multiplying, you don't have to line them up. You can just line up the numbers like it's 2008 times 207. Because we really ignore the decimal until we get to the very end. Okay, 8 times 7 is 56. Carry the 5. 7 times 0 is 0, plus 5 is 5. 7 times 0 is 0, and 7 times 2 is 14. Okay, let's start the next row. I'm going to start with my 0, and then 8 times 0 is 0. 0 times 0, 0. 0 times 0, 0. 0 times 2, 0. You guys should be like working faster than I am, because I'm talking a lot when I'm working these problems. You should just be working much faster than me. Okay, next row, we're going to start out with 2 zeros this time. 1, 2. Now multiply. 2 times 8 is 16. Carry the 1. 2 times 0 is 0, plus 1 is 1. 2 times 0 is 0, and 2 times 2 is 4. Okay, let's add those together. I've seen a lot of mistakes on addition, so make sure that you get it correct when you add them together. Okay, so there's all my digits. Now let's count how many decimal places we have. There's 1 decimal number, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, those are all the digits that are after the decimal, so I should have 5 in my answer. So where would I put it so that I have 5? There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So my answer is 4 and a little bit more than 4. Let's see if that even makes sense. Is that a reasonable answer? My first factor is 2, and a little bit more. My second factor is a little bit more than 2. So 2 times 2 is 4. And my answer is a little bit more than 4. So it makes sense. Okay, you're going to do on your own number 3, 4, 5, 6, and 8. You do that on your own.